Hey everybody, welcome to this new video of Solaris. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I wanted to do a Let's Discover Interstellar Space Genesis. It's a game that just went out yesterday, and I discovered recently, and I saw the trailer and I say, wow, this looks pretty interesting. So I wanted to give it a try, and I love the 4X genre. I'm doing a lot of Distant World universe at the moment, but yeah, I've been playing Galactic Civilization 3, Galactic Civilization 2, a little bit of Stellaris as well. And I just wanted to see what this game had to offer. So the purpose of this mini-series that I'm gonna do is gonna be to discover this game. I didn't play it much. I just did the tutorial and ran a few turns. So you're gonna discover it with me, and I'm gonna play it a few hours. Maybe I will do 2 or 3 or maybe 4 episodes on it, and at the end I will give my impressions on the game, and see if I would like to make a series out of it. That would be on a separate video where I will do an actual review of the game. But until then, we're gonna try it. And if you are interested in just seeing the review, I'll put a link in the description below once it will be ready, so you can just see my actual impressions on the game. And see, if it's worth the time, the money to put in it, and who I think it will be for. But before that, we're gonna actually play the game, discover the game, see a little bit the mechanics, and we're gonna go. We're gonna discover the game together. That's why it's gonna be a Let's Discover series. So the principle of the Interstellar Space Genesis game, it's, for what I could see so far, it seems to be a crossover between a Galactic Civilization and a little bit of Stellaris, but you still have a fair amount of combat in it, which is pretty interesting. You can actually have a tactical map and a pilot, or guide the ships in the battle grid and manage the combat to a pretty decent level, I must say. Way better than what you can actually do with Stellaris and Galactic Civilization 3. The downside is, like, graphic wise, the game is not as advanced, but if you like the genre, the 4X game, generally the graphic is not necessarily what is the most important. I personally found out that the game is, the graphic is not at the Stellaris level, or not even the Galactic Civilization 3 level, but it's okay for me, and that's why I wanted to do that series. I wanted to show you a little bit the game, to see, like, okay, is the impression of the game, the feeling of the game, the atmosphere, what you can do will really appeal to you. And when I tried it so far in the gameplay, like, at first I was a little bit like, I was a little bit surprised by the UI, a little bit pulled off by the graphics, because I'm more used to Distant World universe. Now, Distant World universe is not necessarily a game very well renowned for its UI and for its graphic, but what you can do in Distant World universe is pretty in depth in terms of logistics, ship management, and everything. That being said, when I got myself adapted to Interstellar Space Genesis, it was okay. Actually, I enjoyed the game pretty much. But let's discover the game together. I'm gonna create a brand new game. So in the first game that I played with the human race. We'll see. Maybe I will try another race, or maybe we will go with the human race, as you can see what you can expect when you start the game. Yeah, let's do that. I think it's a good idea. Now, before we go into the game, we're gonna see the settings. So yeah, it's a pretty simple setting. You can manage the music, the volume. You have some options for in-game information. Sometime tutorials are gonna pop during the playthrough because I did some of the stuff already, but not too much. Maybe some new things I'm gonna be discovering with you when I'm gonna be recording. And I took all this off. Maximum resolution that I can do is this at the moment in the game. Full screen. Okay, so let's create a new game. So here are the 6 races that you can play in the game. Now, the game recommends you to start with humans because they are supposed to be fairly balanced. And I do agree with that. Like the good thing that they're doing in this game, for what I could see so far, is like they're trying to give a unique feel for every race, right? So every race are gonna have their own ideal homeworld. For example, the Dragoon is gonna be the swamp world. It's gonna be ideal. Whereas the human is gonna be terrain, right? The Mota is going to be lava. The Sulak is going to be acid. The Kahek is going to be ice. And the Nova is going to be a desert. But it's not because you are human, but you cannot colonize desert or swamp planets, or even lava, acid, ice, and barren, right? So even if they are not ideal, you're still going to be able to colonize them. You're just going to have more penalties. For example, if you are human and you try to colonize a desert world, the population is going to have penalty on their growth, on their production. But there are some researches that you can develop in the game that will allow you to counterbalance this. And you can also do terraforming, etc., etc. But I like the idea so far of each race trying to have their own feel, and it's the kind of thing that that we try to what we see in other games, like Galactic Civilization 3. They are trying to give a feel to the race with the shape of the ships, the appearance of the race, the diplomatic screen, and all that stuff. And they're trying to reproduce that as well. I can feel. Or I could see in the game to a certain degree, but it's not going to be to the level of Galactic Civilization 3 though. I just want to put that out, okay? But in terms of perks, every race are going to have their unique perks. So for example, the humans, we're going to have a democratic government system. We're going to have a bonus of 0.5 credit per pop from taxes, so we're gonna be able to collect more resources. Our ideal world is gonna be with medium gravity, which is it's pretty standard, and we're also pretty charismatic, which means that when we're gonna do diplomacy with others, we're gonna have some bonuses, right? Another mechanic also that I really enjoy, that is the first time that I'm seeing that in the game, is unique abilities. So there are activable abilities that the race can unlock at one point in the game when you fulfill the conditions, and those abilities are going to give you bonuses for 20 turns, or it depends on the ability. So for a specific amount of turn, you're going to have very powerful bonuses, and then you're not going to be able to use it for X amount of turn after that. And you have 2 abilities per race. So if we look, for example, with the humans, we have the Armistice, which if we go at war, right? So the condition there, which is in blue, unlock requirement must have been at war with any empire for 10 turns. Usage requirements must be at war with rival for 10 turns. amnesty proposal becomes available and need to pay for reparation. The effect can enforce a peace treaty with an empire. War declaration negative modifier cleared from both empire. +3 a credit per pop of rival time and number of turns at war if declared, and +1 per pop of rival times number of turns at war if declared at war. Okay, so I presume that that's for the reparation. So the longer you have been at war, if you were declaring war and you declare an armistice, it will cost you more than if the people are declaring war on you. It's going to cost 3 times more actually, right? But it's an interesting mechanic, right? So if someone declares war at you and you want to stop the conflict, you can pay the rival X amount of credit. And after that, you will be able to, you will be able to stop the conflict. So that's a pretty neat ability, right? The second one is prestige. So one leader desire must have been fulfilled, which is another mechanic in the game. I will explain that when we encounter it. Usage, one colony leader or ship leader available for hire in the galaxy. Click to activate. Immediate effect, one higher tier ship leader approach the empire. One higher tier colony leader approach the empire. If high tier leader are not available, an existing colony leader and ship leader improve or learn a new skill. So globally, this is pretty cool because leaders in this game are pretty important. It's a little bit the same thing than in Distant World universe when you have characters that come, like you have the scientist, you have the ship captain, the admiral, the governor, you know, the ambassador, etc. But in this game, the characters are divided in 2 categories. They are the ship leaders and the colony leaders. The ship leaders, as their name states, is people that are going to be operating in ship. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's just about fighting, though. It can be, you know, for doing spy missions, science research, discovering runes. So it's pretty broad. I really like it. And the governor, the same thing. The colony leader can be very good at helping increase the productivity of a planet, or it could also help defend the planet, or it could try to improve the research, etc. So there is a lot of things that can happen with the leaders, and that's a very big part of the game. It's simplified in relation to, or in comparison to other games like Civilization, not Civilization, but Distant World Universe, definitively. But it's deep enough that it's engaging, and you really feel that the leaders, right, have an impact in the game. They have an impact in your empire, and you don't want to lose them, right? They gain experience, they're gonna have demands, and if you fulfill the demands, they're gonna stay with you, they're gonna unlock new abilities. So I really like where they're coming on from this angle. It's very, very neat. Now, the thing that I would say, though, and that's the thing that put me a little bit off when I went in the game at first, is, as I said, like, I'm used to have a little bit more customization of my game than this. Now, I know that people are gonna say it's like, oh yeah, you know, like you have 6 races, but you can customize your race, etc. And that's true, right? There's a pretty fair amount of customization that you can do with the race. So you can choose the appearance, right? You can go there and choose the appearance that you want. You only have 6 appearance, but you know, it's not a big deal. And there you have a system of points, so you could every single perk that you have is going to cost points. So it's a little bit like in Stellaris when you're customizing your empire. You have a specific amount of points and you can spend them to have bonuses, or you can recuperate points in order to have penalties, right? You can take penalties to have more points and then, spend it for other stuff. You also can pick 2 unique abilities. And actually, you know what I'm going to do for this playthrough? I'm going to create my own race, and we're going to play with the own race. Let's try this. So, because I really like the idea of being able to customize my race. So let's do that. So there is population, ship defense, ship attack, industry, ground combat, science, money, culture, government, special abilities, and unique abilities. Unique abilities are not going to cost you any points, but you can only pick 2. So you're really going to need to know what you want to take. So first things first, I would like to play a variant of the ice race. So because I like the way they look, right? And I want to be in an ice world. Okay. Now, how do I want to play those guys? Well, I would like them to be research focus and exploration focus with a little bit of defense, maybe capabilities. Yeah, so research, acts in research, acts in exploration, and maybe also having some decent abilities with terraforming, right? So therefore, they are not necessarily gonna be. They're not gonna have any bonus in populations. They're not gonna have any bonus in ship defense or ship attack. But they're gonna have a pretty nifty bonus in science. I want a pretty good bonus in science. And see, because I took this perk, which is pretty powerful, I only have 4 points left. Now, money-wise, no. Culture-wise, maybe. We're going to stay with the medium world. So, every world, when you're in the game, have a gravity level, of course. There are low gravity worlds, medium gravity worlds, and heavy gravity worlds. Earth is considered like a medium gravity world. So, it's considered like, oh yeah, well, you don't have any penalties if you go in a medium gravity world, right? Now, if you want to select that option, which is by default, it will cost you 0 points. But if you are willing to concede to go in a low gravity world, which is very rare. Enfin, it's not rare. Like, you have low gravity worlds in the game, but they are not as regular. You don't find as many as the medium gravity worlds. Same for the heavy gravity worlds, right? And if you are, for example, a low gravity species and you try to do a quarantine in a medium gravity world, you're gonna have penalties, right? So that's why I want to stay in the medium gravity world. Yep, I would like them to be creative. Makes sense. The government, feudal, minus plus 25. Economy, proportional. No. Because there's penalties on research. Hive mind. Plus 10% on defense, weapon, proportion. That looks good. Yep, we're going to go with the hive mind. Now, we may take a penalty here just for the sake of having maybe something a little bit more. Now, you see, like here, enlightenment, that's maybe something. I was looking at that and I was like, oh, maybe enlightenment could be good. But before we go, well, no, let's look at the unique abilities there, because then depending on the unique ability, we may want to have additional perks there or not. So what I was thinking is that potentially World Shaper and Enlightenment. So World Shaper, to unlock it, one legendary planet engineering infrastructure perk must be unlocked. So we need to unlock planetary engineering. Usage requirement, the population needs 2 population in a colony, and immediate effect can finish any planetary engineering project in 1 turn. Tech requirements still apply, okay? 1 population consumed if terraform project, none if eco engineering. Okay, so this is more to achieve stuff. Okay. Enlightenment must unlock 1 perk in every space culture branch. Okay. Adventure, wealth, and knowledge. Use it activate when ability is ready. Effect minus 50% culture point required for the next space culture level. Oh, okay. Passive effect plus 1 research per pop, minus 1 research per pop. Absolutely perfect. I want that. That's exactly what I want for the race. I'm not necessarily sure for the World Shaper though. Yes, clairvoyance. Because I said like researcher and explorers. So need 1 sector explored to full scan. Usage requirement. At least 1 sector not explored fully. Click to activate when ability is ready. Immediate effect can reveal the full content of 2 sectors immediately. And passive effect minus 25% to remote exploration speed. And minus 1 research per pop. Ah, no, minus 1 research per pop. Ah. Let's see the collective transcendence. Player must research at least 2 tech in every field. Okay. Requires that a technology is currently in research queue. Click to activate when ability is ready. Immediate effect, discover the technology currently being researched immediately. That's awesome. That's what I want. Passive effect plus 100% research point generation in research field of tech just discovered. Okay. Okay. So that means that if we discovered a tech, oh, that's super important, because you're going to see like when we're going to go through the research, there's going to be branches that we can research, of course. But once you have made a research in a specific branch, to research another research in that specific branch and in that specific area is gonna cost more points. So what they are saying here is like I will have 100% research generation in a research field of the text just discovered. So that's gonna negate a little bit the penalty of researching in the same research field, which is pretty cool. Minus 50% research point generation in all the other research fields. That's bad. Minus 1 production per population in Empire duration 20 turns. Okay, I see what it means. So that means that if I activate that, then I'm gonna need to research as well, but this is passive effects. And that's the immediate effect. Yeah, okay, I see what they mean by passive effect. And this is the reason why you need to read and to understand. But what is cool with this game, that I can see so far, is like there is a lot of props. There is a lot of help all over the game that is very natural and instinctive. If there is something that you do not know, you can over the mouth somewhere, and they will always have a good text explanation to help you understand. So the way that I understand this, and we'll test it because I think we're going to take this. is like once you activate this, you can discover technology that you are researching immediately. But there is also a passive effect that is going to be for 20 turns that is going to allow you to have a bonus in researching a specific field for 20 turns. But if you try to research in another field during those 20 turns, you're going to have a 50% penalty, right? And also the production per pop in the empire would be reduced by 1. I think this is absolutely awesome. We're gonna take this. We're gonna explore that. Now I may want to have a penalty. I may want to have a penalty, and the penalty that I would like. Yeah, I will go unseen. Easily seen. That means that if you read what it does, it means that 25% chance of spy mission being detected, minus 25% of rival spying mission being detected, plus 5% to set up all spy mission, and minus 5 of plus 5 turn to set up spy mission, and minus 5 turns for rival to set up mission. That's pretty. For a race that is around research, you don't want to give it away. So I think I will go with repulsive. Like we are not good at diplomacy. We are pretty rash. And therefore, in exchange, I want a +1 in culture pop because it's going to synergize well with enlightenment. So we're going to generate more culture per pop, which is going to help us research our culture faster, which is going to trigger enlightenment faster, right? And I think we are pretty much done. So I'm going to call that the that race the Sanians. Why not? Sanians. And we're going to save. So now, boom. So as you can see, if how can I? It's there. How can I see the? Yeah. Okay. So if you don't like, just for information, if you want to see all the races, you need to just do a mouse. You know, the middle mouse button, and you can scroll and see the races. So the game is considering this rate like even better than humans to start the game. Okay, so now the only problem that I have there is the lack of portrait. Now I know that it's 3D modeled and all that stuff is pretty cool, but there, for example, my race is going to look exactly the same than the kayak, right? And the kayak, if you look, by the way, they're very different than the Cillians that I just created, because the kayak, yes, they have a hive mind just like us. I think we have a hive mind as well. But on the other hand, they are more focused on attack. You see, they have plus 25% on plus 25% ship attack. They act around production. They work with low G world. They are master architects, and they are in creative. So they are the opposite. Actually, we could be a branch of their race that is more creative. But I wonder if... No, I can modify them. I can modify my one, but I cannot modify the pre-existing ones. Which is sad, because I wanted to change this portrait to something else. But we can't do that. So... Alright, so I selected that player difficulty magistrate. Ah, yeah, so that's the difficulty. Okay, we gotta let it at prefect. Okay, now the thing that I was saying there about the start of the game is like if, for example, you look at a Stellaris or Distant World Universe and even Galactic Civilization 3, you have more control on, I gotta say, you have more control on the winning conditions and the options, the size of the universe, where you are, etc., right? But I feel that it's still pretty decent in my taste. All right. The reason why I'm saying that is like even if you only have 6 races, the fact that you can create your own race and you can have as many as you want, as far as I'm aware. Then that means that you can add extra players on the field. So as you can see, there is 7 selectable races. Well, you can have 7 players. If you have 10, you can have 10 players, right? Now, as well, the thing that I was saying there is like, for example, the galaxy, you can just select the size. You cannot select the shape or you cannot choose like a ring galaxy, a spiral galaxy, an ellipsoid galaxy, a cluster galaxy, for example. You can just select the size, right? We're going to go with medium, which is 65 systems. I think that's going to be good. We're going to keep it with easy, just because, I'm not a pro of the game by any stretch of the imagination. So there, election victory, what is it? So this controls wherever the election victory, aka galactic cancel election victory condition is enabled in the game. Warning, it's advisable to leave this option enabled when playing the game for the first couple times, as the experience will be much different without it. Okay, yeah, so, and this is a very good thing that the game actually do. Like, as I say again, like every time that I have a question, I hover the mouse over, as you can see, and you have the full explanation of what it is, right? And it's always very good to, if you play one of the other races, to read all their perks, so like that you know how you're going to play them. There, for example, I have access to the Titan ship special, which is mind control. Take control of any enemy target that has its shield down and is within 20 range of the Titan. The player can use the mind control ship for 1 turn. The special must be activated in combat and has 3 turn cooldown. The Titan construction technology requires to build the Titan class starships. And I think that is because it's mind control. So it's based on the hive mind, I think. Yeah, you see, so the Kayak have the hive mind government, so therefore they have the Titan ship mind control. The Nova, they have Utopia, so they have the whole transfer. The Surak, interesting. I was wrong. Look, hive mind. And still they have the maneuverability, they have something different. Okay, so let me go back in my race and see where this is defined then. Okay. I don't know. Maybe there's certainly something that I missed. What can I define? Or maybe it's based on my special abilities, maybe with the collective transcendence and enlightenment. Maybe I have that. I don't know. It doesn't seem that I can select the option, but maybe there's a way. As I say, guys, I'm just giving you my impression while playing the game. I'm not, by any stretch of the imagination, a pro. But I will discover the things along with you. And that's the purpose of this series, is to actually give the possibility for you to discover the game as I play it. Now, the leader, I'm gonna call it, Salken. Oops, that's not what I wanted to type. Salken. And it's gonna be the Surian Empire. Hawaiian Surian. I like the color. Let's get started. Okay, so you have some pretty neat loading screen like that. It's not too bad. I like it. It helps giving a nice feel. And the world generation is not, it doesn't take as long as Distant World. And as you can see, here you go. This is the first turn. We have created a brand new game. It's a brand new galaxy. And you're going to have there, for example, the tutorial coming to you and speaking with you because I have the option selected. But you don't have to, you don't have to put it on. But for your first game, I recommend you reading this, right? Now, little note, if you click here in the game, that's going to close the window. But if you don't click on this to not show again, it's going to pop again and again. So just click on that if you don't want to see it again. And to move around, you need to click with the right mouse of the button. And there you can see all the stars. So as I said, like this reminds me a little bit more Galactic Civilization 3 in the way that it's approached, because the map is fixed, right? You don't see things moving like in Distant World, or at least not in the solar system, right? Now, if, for example, you zoom in, you can see this is our planet. Looks pretty cool. Is an ice world, and this is our city, which is made of ice, right? If I click here, I can go back, yeah? And apparently we are orbiting a red star. But we have absolutely nothing around us. There is no asteroid field. There is no planet, gas giants. There is nothing. So we're really going to need to explore around. But as you can see, like you don't see, for example, the planet orbiting the sun, etc., right? It's fixed. Now you see the sun, turning. You see the planet turning. You have the description there. So that's why it reminds me a little bit Galactic Civilization 3 in the way that they display the systems a little bit, right? Now, if you zoom out, as you can see, you have a vision of what is happening. This is the border, right? So the ships can move within the borders, right? This is the scan range. This is the supply range. Actually, I think I will have to try. I think you may be able to reach into the supply range. That's the scanning range. Yes. So the scanning levels. When you look at a solar system, you see it's defined there as advanced. And there are 3 levels. There is basic, advanced, and full. And when you go in a system without a survey ship, it's going to be basic. But if you go there with a survey ship, you can advance into advanced, or maybe even full. And a survey ship will be able to go on planets, look into sites, ruined sites and things like that, right? But as you can see, the feel from the game, what we have is like it's a static display, right? You don't have the planets orbiting and things like that. So if that is something that you are a little bit annoyed by, but you are more like Distant World universe where you see things moving around, I think Stellaris also displays the planets moving around, but I could be wrong. Then, that may be a little bit off-putting, but honestly, if you focus on the gameplay, it's not that of a problem. Like me personally, I've been playing a lot of Distant World universe. That's why I'm bringing this up. So I'm used to see things moving around, but it's fine. Like it it doesn't impair my gaming experience, right? So if you can ignore that and focus on actually the game, then it's pretty cool, right? Now this is not a good example because this is a system with nothing, and this is another system with nothing. But there are some systems with a lot of stuff, right? A lot of planets, gas giants, asteroids, and things like that. Now, this is the planet UI, right? And there's a lot of things going on there. And there is one thing that I really appreciate in ISG. I really appreciate that they are doing the effort to do a 3D rendering of the planet, right? And you can click this button to have a more overview on top. But if you want to see the horizon and have the feel of the atmosphere, etc., you can. And I really appreciate that. It really helps immersing ourselves in the environment. And there's a lot of things going on here. Like there is the amount of money that you're collecting, the research that you're generating, the culture points that you're generating. And this is very close to Civilization 6, right? Civilization 6 has this system. I think Galactic Civilization has it pretty close as well, right? This is also the logistics for the ship. So that's the number of ships that you can have at the same time. And you see the number is positive, is 4. It can go in the negative, but if it goes in the negative, you're going to have ship maintenance issues. The ships could have penalties in combat and all that stuff, right? So it's better to have this number positive. And they have certain things that you can do in the game to increase that number, of course. But yeah, you need to make sure that this number doesn't get too much in the negative. Now here, as you can see, this is the resources, right? There is 4 main resources in the game. There is helium, antimatter, neutronium, and dark matter, right? The rest is defined with productions and things like that. So that's why it's very close, even to, I think, Stellaris. You have a few strategic resources. It's not like in Distant World universe where you have 40 different resources and all used in specific constructions of components and things like that, right? So the thing where we are getting here is like the game is simpler, right? The purpose of ISG is not to give you a hands-on, full-on control experience of everything that is going on in your empire. It's going to be more a closer experience of Galactic Civilization or Stellaris, where it's a decent control that you have over your empire, but you're not going to have to oversee the logistics of a resource being mined far away, and you need to have, to make sure that a specific resource that is missing to construct a specific station far away is going to be constructed. That's not this game, right? That you will be able to find it in Distant World universe. But if that is too much for you, this game will offer you, in my experience and what I can see, a pretty decent control over your empire, but without having to micromanage everything. I think that's what I'm getting at. Now, here you can manage, you can increase the amount of tax that you want to have. You can only do it up to 50%. You cannot go higher, as far at least for now. And there you can, with the money that you're generating here, you can increase the research. You can increase the number of points of the culture point that you're generating to reduce the amount of turns. So once again, it's a turn by turn base game, right? A little bit like Galactic Civilization again. Like you play turn by turn, and you unlock things turn by turn. So there is really that feel that you're getting from the game. Now, I'm not necessarily sure if I'm gonna be explaining everything in this video. I think it's already long already. Maybe in the next video I will explain a little bit what this UI is and how you're gonna manage that. But I think this, as a first video, it gives you a little bit of a feel of the game already, and the differences that you can have with different games. But we are gonna continue to do other videos on this game to show you a little bit how it plays out, etc. And yeah, and after maybe a couple hours in the game, I will definitively give my honest review at the end, and we'll go from there. So if you enjoyed the content, if you like what you see, you want to see more, or if you have any suggestions, leave it in the comment section below. And also feel free to leave a like and subscribe. That will really help the channel. And I will put this playthrough or this Let's Discover series in a playlist, so it's easy for you to see the different videos. But once again, once I will have done the review of the game, you will be able to go straight to the review at the end and see if this game is for you or not. But if you want to see a little bit more about the game, then stick with me and I will show it to you. So thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.